Hey, what's up, Ninja? Shinobi here with an update video for you on how things have been going with patch 2.0.1. I'm going to show you some of the items that I've found so far, legendary-wise and otherwise, and also talk a little bit about the state of the game right now, what a lot of people seem to be doing, kind of keep you updated on some of the best farm routes, some of the best XP routes, and everything like that. And these are some of the legendaries that I've found so far. I found the gold skin chest piece, which has only 2 sockets, which kind of sucks. The dexterity is amazing, the resistance good, armor good, but it doesn't have vitality. I'd rather have the vitality instead of that armor. Then that would have been pretty good. See how I lose too much toughness there, but obviously if it had 3 sockets in it, that would have been really good. Plus you have the chance to drop gold when you hit enemies, which would be really cool to use. There's a mempo that I found, one of the first legendaries that I found. It says that it's going to give me more damage, but because I'm losing the percent life, yeah, it's just not going to be quite as good for me. And I lose the crit chance too, and I use Night Stalker, so Night Stalker is important for getting my discipline back up. So getting rid of that 3, even though it says yes, you're going to get an extra 1% damage, it's not really worth it to sacrifice your Night Stalker working more efficiently and also the loss of toughness. So it doesn't really make sense for me to use it. Then you have Blind Faith here, which just has a secondary property that comes with it that you can blind enemies, which is pretty cool. It's something that I found my Barbarian might be able to use, but just, it's missing a couple stats. Like it has like a regen life and seismic slam. Like these are things that shouldn't be on the item. Then we have the Natalia's boots that I found, which is dexterity. It's good, but you can see that my boots, the new set has a different set bonuses. So you have the 2-piece, 3-piece, 4-piece. The 2-piece is going to give you 250 dexterity and 10 maximum discipline, but if I were to use this right now, I wouldn't have the 2-piece set bonus because I'd have to get the Natalia's ring, the new Natalia's ring, and use these boots. So I'm waiting to get another piece to make it worth it to switch out. If I can find like the new Natalia's ring or another piece that I can switch that out, then that'll work out really well. The pig sticker, as I showed in the previous video, which would be really nice if it had a socket on it. Then Nemesis bracers. I found 2 pairs of Nemesis bracers. These ones here are nowhere near as good as the other ones that I found, which have crit chance on them, strength, vitality, movement, and crit chance. These ones here have fire damage, which could be used, but the only thing is like you need to put it in a correct spec. That's why I'm holding on to these items. I found vigilance here, which is pole arm, dexterity, vitality, socket. And the damage is way too low on that. Then you have a ring here. I have 2 of these ones, the Eternals. They're more of like follower rings. Like you just throw it on your follower and they just get, more health and more stats and such. Then Lacunis, that's the old item that I had. This is an item that I crafted for like a low-level character. So long shot, cinder coat, which is something that I would love to use because resources, the reduce the cost of resources for fire skills 30%, which is great. I mean, dexterity, vitality, armor, everything looks great. I even get increased damage on this. Like, sign me up right now. It even has a fire damage on it, which is great because I'm using the fire damage on my bracers too, which goes great with cluster arrow, with cluster bombs. Like, just more and more damage. Like, why aren't you using it, Shinobi? Well, I lose my 2-piece set bonus for Ina's, so I'm waiting to find another pair of pants that are going to make up for that, so I don't lose 130 dexterity, and then obviously the 11% toughness I'm going to be losing too, so you have to kind of think of that. And then the Dendarios Visage, which is great. There's actually a cold spec that I've been working on with Dendarios, with cold damage and such, using with Elemental Arrow. Where is it? Right here. So Elemental Arrow with Frost Arrow, and then you use something like Cold a Week, which you do 20% increased damage to slow enemies. Then also if you were to use this too, that's another 20% damage on top of that because it's cold damage, but the only downside is it didn't come with a socket, and it doesn't seem worth it to lose 18% toughness just to gain, 22% damage. I don't know. It could be, but you're also going to take more fire damage, and you know how many things do fire damage. I'm going to test this out. I'm just hoping to find a better one. Like, when I find a legendary, I want it to just be a no-brainer upgrade. I don't want to have to sacrifice anything. So, you know, that's why I kind of hold on to some of these items to see what I can do with them. This one here didn't come with crit chance. Would have been perfect. Would have been amazing. Look at that dexterity. Look at that vitality. The attack speed is not quite as good, but it can only, well, that can actually max out at 20, which is huge. The hatred, great. Like, everything's good. No crit chance. So, unfortunately, can't use it. Then we have chess piece here. This is one that I found, which is actually a pretty sweet chess piece. You could just throw this up on the auction house or something like that. I mean, you know, pretty good. That's what I plan on doing. Same with this belt. You can throw it up on the auction house. I found this belt, which is a sweet belt. Look at that strength on it. 510. It maxes out at like 524. Yeah, 524. Vitality, armor, has frenzy damage, which is maxed out 15%, which is huge. It's like, why are you not using this on your barb? It gives you max fury. Also, using Warcry gives you movement speed for 10 seconds. That's a long time, 10 seconds. So, why aren't you using this? Well, the problem is that it's I'm using Witching Hour on my, not Witching Hour, I'm using on my Barbarian, I'm using the Lifesteal belt, right? Because my weapon doesn't have Lifesteal on it, but my belt does. So if I lose that Lifesteal, there goes all of my self-healing, which would really suck. But, I mean, I would love to use this, but if this was like a Dexterity one instead or something, like I'd probably be using it over here, but the Lifesteal, you can still use Lifesteal at level 60, so. Then you have Hammer Jammers, which didn't even have Dexterity or anything, it's just Vitality and Armor. Which this was what I was hoping this was going to be the upgrade, but I mean, yeah, it gives me toughness, but I'm just going to lose way too much damage. There's the bracers that I found, 6 crit, dexterity, vitality, and poison damage, which is cool. The reason I'm using the ones that I'm using instead of using the crit chance ones there is it's just better for me. I mean, I get more dexterity on the ones that I'm using right now, and also I get the fire damage. I don't have a use for poison damage, so I can just hold on to that until later on. As you guys know, the thing that I showed you guys with farming and getting 1 billion XP per hour, that has been nerfed. What they did is they didn't actually nerf it like itself, but they changed it so that the checkpoint doesn't actually put you right there every single time like it was before. That's why you were able to get so much XP per hour. Since then, a lot of people have been trying to replicate that and try different chests all around the game. From my knowledge, and I've tested a lot of different chests, it doesn't seem like any other of the chests are going to be worth it as far as XP per hour. So, and as I stated before, going through the game just normally on Torment 6 with a group of 4 people is going to get you quite a lot of XP. And that's something I really want to talk about as well in this video, is that with the whole new system that's up with the Torment levels and how you get so much. I mean, I'm on Torment 3 right now, and you can see that I have, you know, almost 600% bonus experience. On Torment, you know, in a group of 4, on Torment 6, you're getting like just over 2,000 bonus experience, which is quite a lot. So if you're going for XP farming, the best way to do that is Torment 6 in a group of 4 and find a high mob density area. Now, some of the areas that we used to do in the past, like back with an MP10, you'd get a group of 4, you do the same thing. It's kind of the same thing as it used to be, as it was before. And that's just kind of how it goes, because the strength and numbers buff is going to give you some XP increase, which is great. But before, what people were doing is doing like Fields of Misery, Decaying Crypts, and such. And from what I've seen, Fields of Misery doesn't seem as highly mob dense as it used to be. And Decaying Crypts definitely isn't as close to as high mob density as it used to be. So those two are kind of, people are kind of avoiding those right now. One thing that people are doing is they're going to Cathedral level 4 in Act 1, and the density here is actually somewhat decent. You can go through, and people are able to, you know, in a group of 4, you're going to easily break 1 billion XP per hour by just going through in a group of 4 and just going through like that. Now, the reason why It's something that I'm not too worried about with getting a lot of XP, and that's why my Paragon level is lower than you see a lot of people out there, is because Paragon XP isn't that important to me. Finding the best items in the game, farming like that, in my opinion, is something that's just more important to me. If you look at the Paragon system, and you see, okay, if I worked my butt off to get from 1 to 200, Paragon 1 to Paragon 200, let's say it took you a couple weeks to do that, maybe a week or something like that, what kind of benefit are you going to get from getting all that work put in, right? Well, you're going to get 250 dexterity, or whatever your main stat is. You're going to get, you know, like 50 crit damage, or whatever your main stat is. Whatever you're going for there, you're going to get a lot of resistance, and you're going to get like area damage or something like that. That's it. That's like for Paragon 1 to 200, that's your reward, you know, which is better than it used to be for sure. Like, it's definitely a step up. But if you look at my amulet right here, that's almost the amount of dexterity that you would get. The resistance isn't as good, but I get crit chance and more crit damage, and I get average damage. So getting an amulet like this is essentially more of a reward than getting from Paragon 1 to 200. So for me, you know, the way that I see it is every 200 levels, you're going to get a somewhat decent item, extra item, as far as stats go. So the way that I see that is that I'd rather just go find legendaries. So, because that's going to be a quicker way to get more reward for you playing the game. That's just my feeling about it. I mean, you guys might be different, but that's just how I feel about it. So, what I'm going to be doing today on stream is finding the best farm routes as far as you know, legendaries, and just finding lots of legendaries. I mean, yes, you could say yes, the highest mob density areas are also going to give you a lot of experience and a lot of legendaries. It's true. But what a lot of people are doing is they're going in and they're doing they go in and they do, like, they zone in and they kill like one monster, complete a quest, and then zone out. Yes, you're going to get a decent amount of XP per hour by doing that. For instance, if you were to do the quest, which one is it? When you go to the old ruins and then you go over and you kill the person like underneath the cellar part there, in the damp cellar, I think it's called, or something like that. You go in there, you kill that girl real quickly. It takes you like a minute to do it. You kill her. She drops like a couple blues, couple rares. You get the XP for the quest, and then you zone out, refresh, and do it again. With a group of 4 doing it on Torment 6, yes, I was getting around 1 billion XP per hour doing that. But the problem is that you're legendary-wise, you're not killing a lot of monsters. You're just getting experience. So you have to decide what's more important to you. Is it getting more experience, or is it getting more legendaries? So if you're going to do something like that and you just want the experience, you don't care about legendaries, then that's okay. You can do something like that. But if you want to get the best of both worlds and get the highest mob density, which is going to give you the most experience and give you the most legendaries, then you can do that. Now, playing in a group of 4, now, if you play by yourself or you play in a group of 4, as far as like a mob density area, like let's say you go to Fields of Misery. If you guys were to clear Fields of Misery in a group of 4, you're going to clear it pretty quickly as a 4 group on Torment 6, and then you're going to get, you know, the same amount of monsters that you would if you were to play on your own. But if you play on your own, you're going to, like if you have gear like me, you're going to be able to farm it a lot faster, and you're going to get the same amount of legendaries. You're going to get less XP per hour, but you're going to get the same amount of legendaries, maybe even more legendaries. So that's why I usually play by myself when I'm testing legendary farming, because I usually can find more legendaries per hour doing that. Now, if you're in a group with like 4 demon hunters, like say I'm playing a demon hunter and there's 3 other demon hunters, and you guys are in a group, what would happen is, if say I had a really good manticore and I found a weapon and it wasn't very good, but someone else could use it in my group, you could trade it to that person, and that's another way that people can get items. But right now, it's really based on what you feel is the best. If you're going for legendaries, in my opinion, I feel like it's best to play on as high of difficulty as you can. That's going to be efficient. And if you have really good gear, then play by yourself. If your gear is pretty good but not that great, play in a group of 4. If you want to group up with like 3 other demon hunters or 3 other barbarians or whatever, that's going to be another way you can get some legendaries too. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to farm a bunch of legendary locations. I'm about to start up the stream, that's why I'm just sitting here in town. I'm going to farm a bunch of legendary locations, find the best mob density area, see if it's more rewarding to do it in a group or do it by yourself. Based off of my gear, it's probably going to be better if I do it by myself. And then just see how many legendaries per hour I can get. So that's a little bit of update for you guys, maybe some stuff to think about while you're finding farm routes and such. I'm going to be testing pretty much every zone in the game today to see the best areas for farming legendaries, do it solo and then test it in a group and see the difference, see if I find more legendaries in a group or I find more by myself, or I'm going to test the different difficulties too, like doing it on Torment 2 and then I'm going to do that for an hour and do it on Torment 3 and see if it yields more legendaries, things like that. So just kind of testing out a lot of stuff today. I'd love to see you guys over at the stream. Remember, I just got my sub button on Twitch, so if you want to subscribe over there, links right down below to come over and hang out with us, and should be streaming right after this video goes live. Anyways, my name's Shinobi, and till tomorrow, thanks for watching.